Hey guys, Super Rugby Pacific Round 8 is coming up this weekend. In this video, I'm going to share with you my best picks for the Fantasy Super Rugby competition. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. First up, just looking at the fixtures. In this round, we only have 3 matches in total taking place. The big implication of that for fantasy is that you can only choose 4 players from one team maximum. So a lot of the decision-making tension for this round is going to revolve around that. If you pick 4 players from all of the favorite teams that you like, you're not going to reach 15 players, right? So yeah, a lot of tension around that 4-player limit. And fortunately though, I think the matchups are kind of straightforward. All 3 of the home teams, Crusaders, Chiefs, and the Reds, I think are probably pretty comfortable favorites. Therefore, we want to draw most of our picks from these teams. In particular though, I do like the Crusaders and the Chiefs picks a bit more than the Reds this week. Just if you look at the stats for these teams in this season so far, the Crusaders and the Chiefs, they do rank higher in terms of those total attacking stats, like the defenders beaten, the tries scored, the offloads, even the line breaks as well, although the Reds aren't too far behind on the line breaks. Nonetheless though, these teams are clearly bigger attacking powerhouses according to the stats. Also the Reds, I mean, they're coming up against the Force, and we've seen the Force show a bit of resilience defensively. We saw it last week against the Chiefs. They're kind of just a nuggety team, right? Like they sort of just don't go away unless you really crack them and sort of go bang bang and just kind of break them a bit. They'll just hang in there, right? They'll grind away, they'll control a lot of ball, and yeah, that makes this a bit of a trickier matchup in terms of scoring points, although I do think the Reds will be able to win pretty comfortably in the end. And look, with the Tars and the Endure, I mean, the Tars, they had that amazing win against the Brumbies in the last round. I'm not dismissive of that, but yeah, it's an even trickier matchup again, coming over to Hamilton, beating the Chiefs at home. And yeah, with the draw, I mean, we know they kind of struggle away from home. They actually, you know, they were in there against the Blues last week for that first half, but they did eventually crack in the second. Don't see much reason to think that won't happen again against the Crusaders. But yeah, not dismissive of these 2 teams' ability to score points necessarily either. We have seen the Crusaders be a bit leaky as well this year. Now, if we jump into the actual players, starting with the big guns in the back 3. At the moment, I have Will Jordan, Sid Harvey, and Liam Coombs-Fabling. This is a pretty kind of conservative but solid set of picks for the outside backs. Being big on the Crusaders and the Chiefs this week, the back 3 are in play from both of those teams in a big way, but there's a bit of a tricky situation with the Chiefs outside backs. Leroy Carter again is starting at 13. Like I was saying last week, I think that really limits his scoring potential. I think the same applies this week, but we have a bit of an odd situation with the bench there. On the Chiefs bench, you have Sinkinson and also Kyle Brown. I suspect, and look, this isn't certain, I suspect that Kyle Brown might come on in the second half and replace one of the wingers. Sinkinson, he'll be replacing one of the wingers as well. That's Nadawa and Taumoefalau, who are the starters. So I suspect both wingers are going to get subbed off. Kyle Brown's going to go to 13, and then Leroy Carter will go to wing. That means that Coombs-Fabling is definitely going to stay on. Carter probably is going to stay on unless I'm wrong in how I'm interpreting that. I mean, it's not written in stone anyway, right? If one of those wingers, Narawa or Taumaiwhalau's having a big game, maybe they'll just keep them on. But yeah, I think Carter could go well if that happens, because I think with a lot of these fixtures, we've seen that the game's kind of close until late in the piece, right? And then the team that's the favorite, they sort of, you know, they break their opposition, they go bang bang, and then they start to run away with the game late, which means you kind of want those players who aren't going to get subbed off to be able to capitalize on that sort of flow of a game. So yeah, Carter, I think he will be a very good pick if that's what actually happens. And you can kind of make your own mind up about that. If you think that's going to happen as well, you can take the punt on him and go for it. I think that is a good pick in that case. But otherwise, I think Liam Coombs-Fabling, he's the one who's going to be there for sure for the full 80. So if that, you know, if the Chiefs opposition, if the Tars don't break until late, if that's when a lot of points come in, Coombs-Fabling will definitely be there. But those other wingers, Narawa and Taumaiwhalau, they probably won't be. And yeah, that's why I haven't really doubled down on Chiefs in the outside backs this week. That is why I have Coombs-Fabling. With the Crusaders, though, it's a different story. I mean, I've gone with Will Jordan. He's super solid, as we know, as he has got the highest average out of all of the outside backs. But Will Jordan, even though he's always going to do well, he's also the sort of player, you know, if someone goes on to get 100 points in this game against the Endure, it's probably not going to be him. It's probably going to be either Sevu Reece or Shea Fihaki. And we saw that in their last game, right? Fihaki got this monster score when the Crusaders put 50 points on Moana. He got 2 tries and he was all over the place in that game, doing a lot of damage. The same thing could definitely happen again this week. And the bench situation for the Crusaders is that I believe Braden Ennor is on the bench. So I suspect he's gonna replace Lester Whanganoko. He's fast enough to play wing, right? They could bring him on, but I don't think we've seen that before, right? I suspect he is gonna replace Leicester, which means the whole back three for the Crusaders, they should be there for the full 80. If the Enduro hang in there like they did against the Blues for that first half, and the points and the tries sort of come late for the Crusaders, then yeah, that's when those guys could go big, whether it's Fihaki or Reece. Reece, I mean, he hasn't really put on a big score this year. He was such a monster last year when he started on the wing. This year, not so much. I had him in this Moana game. He did really well. Got 48 points, which looks bad when you put it next to the 105 that Fihaki got in that game. But Sevu Reece, he did get subbed in this game, remember? You can see this +1 here. He didn't get to 60 minutes. So, yeah, left a lot of game time on the table there. He would have gone a lot better, I think, if he had been there for the full 80. And that could well be the situation here, right? Because, again, Eno's on the bench. And, yeah, the whole Crusaders back three is probably going to be on there for the full 80. So, yeah, definitely wouldn't turn my nose up at a double Crusaders in the back three, right? Whether you go Jordan Reece, Jordan Fihaki, even Fihaki Reece, I think that would be a good play. The play I've gone for is picking up Sid Harvey for the Waratahs. And yeah, if you've watched this guy in the last couple of games, he's been impressive. Not just in terms of fantasy, where he's got 60 points in a losing effort against the Blues and a pretty tight game against the Brumbies, and without scoring tries as well, right? 60 points without scoring any tries is pretty awesome. He does get the goal kicking duties, so any sort of conversions and penalties, those points go to him. And that kind of makes him just another stable option, right? If you're picking up Even if things go really bad for the Waratahs, even if there's really limited opportunities, which is a real distinct possibility, right? The Waratahs, they might not get many opportunities against the Chiefs in Hamilton, but you probably will get something out of the goal kicking. And I just want to show some faith in this guy, though. Like he is good, right? If you see him ball in hand, he can step, he can beat defenders and make line breaks and that sort of thing. So you know, I'm not hard locked in on Sid Harvey. I might end up doing the double Crusaders thing in the outside backs like I talked about earlier. But again, like I said at the start, there's this tension where you can only pick 4 players from one team, right? So yeah, if you sort of double down in the outside backs, that kind of limits your options elsewhere. I do also think, though, that the Reds back 3 are worth a look this week as well. I spoke earlier during the fixtures discussion about why I'm not as big on the Reds as I am for Chiefs and Crusaders for this round. But yeah, when it comes to the Red, I mean, Dalgunu, Jock Campbell, and this week, Trayvon Pritchard getting a start, finally going to get some decent game time. These guys are all pretty good. Dalgunu is probably my favorite option out of the 3. But Trayvon Pritchard's look good, man. Like whenever he's been on the field, he hasn't had a lot of game time. He's been coming off the bench, but yeah, he's definitely a player that does look quite dangerous when he's got the ball in his hands. And I mean, he only costs 4.2 million as well. So if you need a value option in your outside backs this week, he probably is the guy. Although I don't think this is going to be a round where your budget is really going to be under stress, right? Like we don't have DMAC, we don't have the Hurricanes, so there's no like Proctors and Roy Guards that are draining your budgets. There's no like Charlie Kell or anything. So yeah, you're probably not going to need to be turning to value picks this round unless you just want to make money out of your players. And I suspect this will be I suspect Pritchard will be guaranteed gaining money this round as well, if that's what you're looking for. Now moving on to the midfield, not a lot of options here. We've got one very clear option in the form of Quinn Tupaia, who has just been the most solid player all year, both in fantasy and probably out in the pitch, right? Like he is in excellent form at the moment. And yeah, you're going to have the budget available this week. Like he could well be the top scoring midfielder. So yeah, pretty easy decision to make here, locking into Paya. I mean, the other big name is Leicester Whanganuku, who gets a start. Went pretty big against Moana, just coming off the bench. Going to get a lot more game time this round. But I mean, the big sort of asterisk over this pick is that, yeah, Braden Ennell's on the bench. So I think Leicester is going to be the one who gets substituted. I might be wrong about that. Interested to hear from you guys if you foresee a different substitution happening there. But again, like, if the Drewers if they're able to hang in there for that first half like they did against the Blues, Whanganuku is probably not going to end up with a very strong score. So that's the only sort of thing to hesitate about with this pick. Not a lot of other options though. I mean, the next guys I would sort of be looking at is these Ndrua options. Like we've got Namothi. I mean, he's been kind of impressive, right? In that game against the Blues, sort of racked up a lot of these offensive statistics, 3 line breaks, didn't get a try, still got a pretty good score. Only 4 million as well. Like he's one whose value is probably still going to be rising. Then you got Joji Nasova as well, who is a midfielder but is playing out on the wing. So yeah, if they do get anything going on the edge, if they do get any sort of tries out wide, Nasova, he could be the one to sort of cash in and inherit those points. Otherwise, nothing else really is enticing here. So yeah, it's kind of up to you guys if you want to take a gamble on the draw or just stick with Leicester and hope the Crusaders kind of just crack the draw early. Otherwise, man, you got Paisami, you got Fluke, you got McLeod, like not super exciting options here. Josh Fluke was very strong last year, hasn't had a lot of game time this year. Maybe we will find out that he is still the goods once he starts getting some serious game time. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to take that bet. Also talked about why I'm not as big on the Reds picks as I am on Chiefs and Crusaders. So I've just gone with Leicester Whanganukau. But if you happen to want to use Crusaders slots elsewhere, like maybe you're going for the double Crusaders and the outside backs, Leicester is one that you could consider dropping. Now moving on to the 10s, and the big news is that Carter Gordon is back, which is awesome because yeah, he was sort of looking pretty good until he dropped off the scene. Now he's back for this matchup at home against the Force. I suspect he will go very well here, and there's just not a lot going on elsewhere otherwise. We've got Jacob and then we got Donaldson. Jacob, he could go well. He had a pretty good game against the Force, did get a try, and yeah, there's no DMAC this time as well. So yeah, he could get more game time, and yeah, he could end up doing well against the Tars. But I haven't been that impressed with them otherwise for the rest of the year, so I'm not super hot on this pick. You know, just seeing one sort of good score, you can't get too excited about that. But yeah, he's definitely a real option. And Ben Donaldson, he's always solid, right? He's not exciting, but he is solid. We see him, you know, post a lot of mid-30s scores, but yeah, I definitely would be more focused on Carter and Jacob, but Carter Gordon's potential definitely excites me a lot more. We do have Taha Kemeda as well. We haven't really seen him play a lot this year. Had to play out of position in this Blues game as well. So yeah, kind of hard to make a call on this. Also, Revez is on the bench as well. Rayhana's on the bench, and I kind of suspect that Rayhana might end up getting subbed on quite early, especially if the Endura are hanging in there. So yeah, that's just something that makes me a little bit hesitant about the camera pick. But if the Crusaders start blowing the Endura up early, then he definitely could be one that benefits. Then on to the halfbacks, and I mean, Noah Hotham is pretty much the only game in town. I suspect he will go well this match. Xaviero, I'm not a huge fan of, even though he did pretty well in this Force game. Kalani Thomas I do like a lot, but yeah, he doesn't really get a lot of game time. He's often coming off the bench. Kind of unfortunate for him, especially since the Reds, I mean, this year they've been missing their main starting 9 for quite a while, but he's got a lot of competition from Wershon, so he's still kind of struggling to get that game time. But I mean, at 2.8 million, like, yeah, I suspect he's a guy whose value will be going up this round, but I also kind of worry that he might end up just getting subbed a bit early and not getting the game time either. And yeah, that will limit his points potential. Onto the back rows, and yeah, nothing really exciting from me here for the back row. I've got McWright, Johnny Lee, and Wanga. McWright, he had a pretty poor showing last week. I only saw a little bit of this game, unfortunately, so I don't understand what fully happened in this game, how the Reds got destroyed so hard. But yeah, only 8 points for McWright. That did bring his value down though by $500,000, so I mean, you know, he's probably a bit undervalued at the moment. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of kind of hoping that's just a blip and that he bounces back, which he should. I mean, at home in Suncorp against a weaker team, he should go well. The Reds should go well. And look, with Johnny Lee and Wanga, I mean, Johnny Lee's impressed me in his 2 games. I mean, even in this Moana game, like he sort of got his 30 points just in the first half, and then I'm not sure what happened in the second. He kind of disappeared off the scene, but he stayed on for the full 80. He's probably going to stay on for the full 80 for this one as well. And otherwise, yeah, like he does get a piece of these offensive stats as well, like line break, defender beat, and same in here as well, offload, line break assist. Like, yeah, I think you know, this guy still needs to kind of prove himself as a consistent performer, but yeah, in a week where pickings are kind of slim, I think he's a pretty solid one. I've gone with Wanga as well, and I just like Wanga, man. I've talked about him a lot. He's like an outside back, but in the back row, with the ball in hand, he can just do some crazy things, and it's not going to happen every game. I don't know if he's going to get the opportunity to do it against the Crusaders, but he's always a chance, man. And again, in a week with kind of slim pickings, yeah, man, I don't mind rolling the dice on Wanga. I think it kind of shakes out in the fullness of time. But other options, though, I mean, look, Jacobson, he was good last week, right? And yeah, again, with another kind of softer matchup, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes well, but he's not a reliable performer in fantasy, right? Like he's you know, he's more of a grafter, right? He's not necessarily flashy, and it's the flashy guys who tend to do better in fantasy. Another pick that could go well is Christian Leo Willie. He's kind of only had this one big sort of performance where he went crazy and got 3 tries, and otherwise has been kind of underwhelming. But that is because he has been subbed most games for Xavier Saifaloy. Saifaloy's not on the bench for this one, so yeah, it could well be that Leo Willie gets a full 80 this game, and if he does, I think he will end up having a pretty good score. And yeah, 6.1 million, not crazy expensive. So yeah, I think Leo Willie is actually a pretty strong prospect this week, and you know, you could take him over Johnny Lee or anyone else, to be honest. I do like that pick a lot. Everywhere else, though, we've kind of got guys who are solid but not exciting, like this Samu, Gamble, Wikuasi, Panakai, Vado. You know, these 2 guys, like, they can carry big, but it's not necessarily gonna translate into fantasy points every week. Harry Wilson, yeah, like still waiting for Harry to kind of put out a good score, man. He was such a force last year, but this year absolutely is not the case. And moving on to the locks, not doing anything special here. I think with the locks, like any of these sort of favorite teams where you haven't used up your 4-man allocation, you kind of cash it in here in the locks, provided you've selected your hooker, of course. And yeah, we can kind of see like these Chiefs locks come out on top in terms of averages, and I mean, we know what Vai's capable of. Like, he's a lock who, you know, he can turn in these big scores some weeks, right? Like, he can get tries. Not guaranteed, of course. And with Josh Lord, he's just been a guy who's been a bit more involved this week. We've seen him running in the open, sort of in some line breaks, getting offloads away. So, yeah, he's a good, cheap option, but I would probably take Vai over him if cash wasn't an issue, which it shouldn't be this week. And I've gone for Salakai Lotto as well. No big sort of reason behind that apart from having a solid average, but yeah, bit of a muchness otherwise for me. And on to the hookers, and yeah, kind of just about Taukeaho and Cody Taylor this week, right? And really hard to look past Taukeaho. He's been the form hooker this year. particularly in fantasy. Like, we've seen what he can do. He can get those tries, man, from the back of the maul or in the open, just anywhere. He's so strong in the collision. He's strong over the ball as well, so he can get those turnover force points for us, and his line out throwing is good as well. Only got 29 points last week, but came off the bench and, you know, still got a try. Like, this is still a very, very strong score. So really hard to look past Taukei'aho. The thing that Cody's got going from this week, though, I think the Crusaders, they got so many injuries. I think they're down to like a 4th string hooker or something. Like, they got a bit of a nobody on the bench for hookers. So I do suspect that Cody Taylor, he will get very close to 80 minutes this game. Like, I don't think they will be taking Cody off until the game is sort of sewing up, right? So yeah, that is a big plus in Cody's favor, I think. And I mean, the draw, they are a team that you can score more tries against. So yeah, definitely don't dislike the Cody pick. Is a bit cheaper than Taukei'aho as well, so we'll be more likely to gain a bit of value without needing to get a crazy score. But yeah, really hard to look past Taukei'aho. And I mean, if you're full up on Chiefs and Crusaders this week, I mean, it's definitely worth dedicating the hooker slot to one of those. Tongi Tama, I mean, he's been kind of solid this year, right? Like, not exciting, but pretty solid. Or Josh Nasser, I mean, I wouldn't say there's that much chance that he's going to go big. Like, the Forces maul is actually pretty good, right? They're more defense, but yeah, I think I would still go for Tongi Tama over even Nasser. And onto the props, I've gone with Hitet and Aiden Ross, and nothing particularly smart going on here. I mean, Hitet, he's just been super solid. Every single score above 20 points, you get what you pay for at 4.4 mil. And look, Aiden Ross, he's not expensive. I'm basically just picking up a Reds prop and praying because I'm full up on Crusaders and Chiefs and more valuable positions. If you do happen to have a Chiefs slot, though, I think Ollie Norris could be a good pick this week because he came off the bench against the Force and got a yellow card, so he got this minus one score, and it actually tanked his price by $500,000, even though he was only worth like 4.3. So he's probably undervalued now, to be honest. He is actually a good prop, and he's getting a start this week. So if you do happen to have a Chiefs pick spare by this stage, yeah, you can grab Norris, and he'll probably do decently and earn you a bit of money as well. Now for captain this week, I think you've got 3 sort of really solid options here in the form of Gordon, Tupaia, and Will Jordan. Yeah, Gordon's probably going to go well. He's going to be able to take those shots at goal, and you know, he's not going to get like a rock bottom score and waste your captaincy. And Tupaia, I mean, this guy, he's just been super consistent, right? Gets up into like those 50s and 60s. So yeah, potentially could go even higher. And then Will Jordan, again, same sort of thing. A guy who's just super solid, gets like 60s and 40s. The only bad thing about these guys is that they're solid, but they're not greedy picks, right? Like, they're not gonna go out and score, you know, the 80s and the 100s. I mean, there's a chance, but your more likely options to get those are gonna be your genuine wingers, right? So think about Carter if he doesn't get subbed, or think about your Fihakis, your Sevu Reeses, guys like that. If you've got those guys in your outside backs and you want to play greedy, those are the guys that you go for. But otherwise, you've got these 3 sort of solid options to fall back on as well: Gordon, Tupaia, and Jordan. And I mean, you could even throw Taukei'aho in there as well, to be honest. But But at least with, you know, these three, they have the potential to go a bit higher than Taukei'aho, I think. With the boosters, I mean, there's nothing that I don't consider this a good week for boosters. Can't imagine anyone needs to use Limitless this round, to be honest. I imagine most people will have plenty of money spare. And with your triple and co-captains, I think there's better weeks, right? I've sort of got some matchups penciled in the near future, like next round, for example, where I think the Chiefs will be taking on Moana again. But yeah, if you were to use those points boosters this week, again, I think the only one I'd really consider is maybe the co-captains and using them on these sort of more solid options, right? Like, you know, Will Jordan, and then maybe Severis or Fihaki as well, or you know, Will Jordan and Katagura and something like that. But yeah, in general, really not liking the feel of the boosters this week. Anyway, guys, that will do it from me. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the games on the weekend, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.